The truth is, most people think they're manifesting love, but they're actually blocking it without even realizing it. And if their heart feels heavy, confused, or tired, it's not because the universe isn't listening. It's because there's a hidden energetic conflict inside there. Routine that keeps sending mixed signals. Deep down, they wonder why. They visualize, affirm, and trust the process, yet love still feels far away. What if the universe has always been responding? Just not to the part of you that speaks, but to the part of you that feels. This is where everything secretly shifts. Because there's one mistake, subtle, silent, and almost invisible, that instantly drops your frequency and disconnects you from the relationship your soul keeps calling in. And the craziest part, almost everyone does it. Imagine discovering that this mistake has been influencing your energy field, your intention, your vibration, and even the type of love you attract. Suddenly things start making sense. The mixed results, the emotional resistance, the cycles that repeat. When someone finally sees this pattern with clarity, it's like the entire universe rearranges itself. And here's the beautiful twist. Once you correct this error, your manifestation routine becomes magnetic, almost effortless. Your emotions begin to support you instead of sabotage you. Your subconscious stops pulling in the opposite direction. And you finally step into the frequency where love naturally finds you, without chasing, forcing, or doubting. But before we dive in, let me ask you a bold question. Are you truly manifesting from your heart or from fear disguised as desire? Because the answer to this question alone can change everything about your love life. And that's exactly what you're about to discover. When someone begins their love manifestation routine, they often believe their intention is clear, but their energy tells a different story. The universe doesn't respond to the words alone. It responds to the vibration carried underneath them. A person may say they want love, yet their subconscious may still echo feelings of fear, doubt, or unworthiness. This mismatch creates a frequency gap that affects attraction. And it's in this gap that the hidden mistake begins to form. He would often visualize a beautiful relationship while secretly fearing abandonment, not understanding that fear was the real signal being broadcast. This is how the subconscious overrides conscious intention in the field of manifestation. It's not that the person is doing something wrong. It's that their inner narrative holds more magnetic power. When the emotional soundtrack contradicts the desire, the universe mirrors the dominant emotion. And that's why clarity requires more than repetition. Think of it like tuning a radio. You might know the frequency you want, but if your dial is slightly off, you'll only hear static. The same happens with love manifestation. A person may feel they are aligned, but internally the vibration is faint, inconsistent, or interrupted by old beliefs. Their energy field becomes divided between desire and resistance, and the universe reflects this divided focus with mixed results. To shift this, one simple practice is emotional awareness, journaling. Each morning, the person writes what they want and then writes what they actually feel about having it. This reveals the hidden contrast between intention and emotion. If the heart whispers, "I'm afraid of being hurt again," that fear becomes visible. And once visible, it can be transformed into a new frequency of trust and confidence. Another example is using meditation to sense where love feels blocked in the body. Sometimes the tension sits in the chest, other times in the stomach, expressing itself as anxiety or impatience. By breathing into these spaces, the person reprograms the emotional field with peace and compassion. This simple act aligns their frequency with receiving rather than longing. and that creates immediate energetic coherence. What's fascinating is how quickly the universe responds when the internal state becomes consistent. Even subtle changes in gratitude, clarity, or emotional softness begin affecting the person's surroundings. They may notice synchronicities appear more often or feel a calm certainty replacing old doubts. Their energy becomes magnetic instead of scattered. And magnetism is the language the universe understands best. This is where the hidden mistake begins to dissolve, not through effort, but through alignment. When someone matches the vibration of what they desire, they finally step out of resistance and into flow. Their manifestation stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling natural. But this is only the first layer of the mistake, because behind this energetic contrast lies a deeper pattern that most people never notice. Most people believe they're manifesting love because they focus on what they want, but energetically, they're focusing on what they fear. Every time someone says, "I want a relationship," yet feels lonely or unsure inside, the universe responds to the vibration of lack, not the desire itself. This emotional split sends mixed frequencies into the field, and mixed frequencies create mixed results. That's where manifestation quietly loses momentum. When someone thinks, "I hope it happens soon," they're unconsciously affirming that it isn't here yet. That subtle feeling of impatience signals doubt, which becomes stronger than intention. The subconscious begins amplifying fear instead of trust, and the universe matches the dominant vibration every single time. That's why even strong desires can feel like they're going nowhere. The emotional current is pulling in the opposite direction. Imagine someone checking their phone constantly, hoping for a message. On the surface, it looks like interest, but energetically it vibrates as insecurity. This behavior broadcasts a frequency of "I'm not chosen," even if the conscious mind insists on love. The universe doesn't listen to words, it listens to coherence. And when desire and emotion disagree, emotion always wins. That's the hidden contradiction behind most failed manifestations. A powerful way to dissolve this is practicing emotional neutrality. It means desiring without clinging, asking without begging, and allowing without rushing. One simple exercise is placing a hand over the heart, breathing slowly and repeating, "I'm safe. Love is arriving. I don't need to chase." This shifts the emotional field from urgency to receiving. And receiving is the frequency that attracts. Visualization also changes dramatically when neutrality is present. Instead of imagining the specific person, imagine the feeling of being calm, grateful, and grounded. Picture yourself waking up with peace, smiling gently, feeling love in your chest before it appears outside of you. This trains the subconscious to resonate with abundance rather than absence. And once the feeling changes, reality starts rearranging itself around it. What's fascinating is how quickly the universe responds when someone stops trying to force the outcome. Their energy becomes softer, lighter, and more magnetic. Opportunities appear effortlessly, conversations flow naturally, and synchronicities show up with perfect timing. It's as if the universe was waiting for emotional coherence before sending the next step. And coherence is always more powerful than effort. This emotional contradiction is one of the biggest hidden mistakes in love manifestation. Wanting with the mind while doubting with the heart. Once this inner conflict dissolves, the magnetic field strengthens instantly. But there's an even deeper layer beneath this pattern, a layer connected to old emotional memories still shaping today's vibration. And that's where the next step reveals something essential. Most people try to manifest love from their present intentions, not realizing their vibration is still echoing the past. Old emotional imprints stay stored in the subconscious as energetic signatures, subtly influencing thoughts, expectations, and reactions. Even if someone desires a healthy relationship, unresolved memories can broadcast a frequency of fear or protection. The universe responds to these deeper layers, not the surface level request, and that's why patterns often repeat. Every time someone recalls a painful relationship, even unintentionally, the body relives the emotion as if it's happening again. That emotion becomes a signal sent into the field. If the memory carries betrayal, rejection, or abandonment, the vibration becomes defensive. This energy doesn't say I'm ready. It says I'm guarded, and guarded energy blocks connection. The subconscious isn't sabotaging, it's trying to protect. But protection and manifestation rarely operate in harmony. Think of the subconscious as a projector replaying old films onto new situations. A person meets someone new, yet the mind analyzes them through the lens of past wounds. They overthink, expect disappointment, or assume the worst, even if nothing is wrong. This emotional filter shapes their reality more than any affirmation, because the universe mirrors what someone truly believes is possible, not what they hope will happen. And belief lives in the body, not the mind. To shift this, one powerful practice is emotional reconditioning. The person closes their eyes, recalls the old memory, and reframes it from a new perspective, not as something that hurt them, but as something that awakened them. They breathe deeply into the pain, allowing it to soften, melt, and transform into wisdom. This doesn't erase the past, it changes the vibration connected to it. And once the energy shifts, the future stops looking like the old story. Another tool is writing a closure letter that is never sent. In it, the person expresses everything they wished they could have said: the truth, the anger, the sadness, the clarity. This releases emotional weight trapped in the subconscious. When they finish, they write one final line: I release this frequency from my field. This simple phrase signals the universe that the old energy is no longer in command, and the universe always responds to a clean slate. What's remarkable is how quickly love begins to flow when the past loses emotional power. The person feels lighter, more confident, more receptive. They stop overreacting, stop assuming patterns, and start seeing people as they truly are, not as reflections of old pain. Their vibration rises into alignment with clarity and abundance, and that shift alone changes the type of partner they attract. The universe can finally deliver what they ask for. But even after releasing old energies, there's another hidden mistake people make, one that happens in the present moment, not the past. It's subtle, almost invisible, and it affects the frequency of manifestation instantly. And as we move forward, this next layer reveals something even more surprising about the way love responds to energy. There's a moment in every manifestation routine where the vibration quietly drops, and most people don't even realize it happened. They begin their practice in a high frequency of hope, clarity, and intention. But as the day unfolds, their mind slips into doubt, comparison, or impatience, lowering their energetic field without warning. The universe always listens to these shifts more than the initial ritual. And this subtle drop is one of the biggest hidden mistakes. Someone might start the morning visualizing with gratitude, but by afternoon they're scrolling social media, comparing their love life to others. Each comparison sends a vibrational message of I'm behind, I'm not enough, or love works for everyone but me. These micro thoughts create micro shifts in frequency, and manifestation isn't built from the strongest moment of the day. It's built from the most repeated emotion. Repetition becomes reality. Even small reactions can lower the frequency dramatically. A person might feel ignored because someone didn't reply quickly. They assume rejection, abandonment, or loss before anything actually happened. This emotional jump tells the universe, I expect disappointment. And the universe mirrors expectations more faithfully than desires. That's why emotional discipline matters more than any technique. The vibration behind the reaction is stronger than the reaction itself. One powerful practice is becoming aware of frequency triggers. These are moments that instantly pull someone into fear or doubt. A practical step is writing down, when do I feel my energy drop? It might be when the phone is silent, when someone's tone changes, or when the person imagines worst-case scenarios. By identifying these triggers, they can pause, breathe, and consciously choose a different vibration. Awareness becomes the first step toward mastery. Another tool is frequency resetting. Whenever the person notices a drop, they close their eyes, inhale deeply for 4 seconds, hold for 2, and exhale for 6. This activates the parasympathetic system and immediately calms emotional turbulence. While breathing, they repeat, I choose alignment. I choose trust. This simple shift in energy realigns the emotional field with their intention. And manifestation responds to alignment much more than effort. What's remarkable is how subtle these shifts can be and how powerfully they influence attraction. When someone holds a consistent vibration, even if it's gentle, even if it's quiet, the universe feels it. A steady frequency is more magnetic than a strong but unstable one. That's why consistency in emotional energy is the hidden foundation of manifestation. It creates a field the universe can clearly understand. Yet, even when someone learns to stabilize their vibration, another mistake often appears: wanting love while carrying an identity that contradicts it. And this identity silently shapes their frequency more than any affirmation ever could. As we move into the next layer, this deeper aspect of manifestation becomes impossible to ignore. Every manifestation is filtered through identity, who someone subconsciously believes they are. A person can desire a loving, stable relationship, but if their inner identity still whispers, I'm not chosen, or I'm hard to love, the universe receives that as the dominant frequency. Identity acts like a vibrational anchor, pulling everything back to the emotional baseline. And this mismatch silently blocks the manifestation long before it reaches the physical world. Someone may affirm, I attract healthy love, yet carry a deep belief shaped by childhood or past relationships that says, I'm always rejected. The subconscious will always defend its version of truth, even if that truth is painful. So the person doesn't attract what they want. They attract what matches the identity they've rehearsed for years. This is why transformation begins inside, not outside. The energy of identity is stronger than the energy of desire. Identity shows up in behavior as much as in emotion. A person who believes they are worthy moves differently. They don't chase, overthink, or seek validation. But someone with a wounded identity might shrink, apologize for existing, or settle for half-hearted connections. These subtle actions reinforce the emotional frequency of unworthiness. And the universe mirrors actions the same way it mirrors feelings. Every behavior becomes a vibrational broadcast. To shift this, one powerful exercise is writing who I believe I am in love and who I choose to become. On one side, they list identity patterns like fear, scarcity, or self-doubt. On the other, they describe a new identity rooted in self-trust, clarity, magnetism, and emotional coherence. Just seeing the contrast ignites a shift in awareness. And awareness is the beginning of vibrational reprogramming. The subconscious responds to clarity more than force. Another effective tool is identity embodiment. For 5 minutes a day, the person acts as if they already are the version of themselves who attracts healthy love. They walk slower, breathe deeper, speak with confidence, and carry a calm, magnetic presence. This embodiment creates a new emotional signature in the field, and the universe reacts immediately to identity upgrades, because identity determines frequency and frequency determines attraction. What's extraordinary is how fast life responds when someone begins aligning with a higher identity. They stop tolerating the old patterns, stop repeating the same emotional cycles, and start attracting people who reflect their new vibration. Confidence rises, intuition sharpens, and the field becomes clearer and stronger. Manifestation accelerates not because the universe changed, but because the individual changed the energy they radiate. Identity is the master key to the quantum field. Yet, even after upgrading identity, another subtle mistake emerges. People unintentionally send mixed intentions into the universe by asking for love from a place of fear, not clarity. This creates confusion in the energetic field, distorting the message sent out. And understanding this next layer is essential for unlocking the true power of manifestation. Most people believe they're asking the universe for love with clarity, but emotionally they're sending out two different intentions at the same time. They say they want a deep, conscious connection, yet subconsciously they're asking for safety, distance, and control. The universe receives both requests simultaneously, and when intentions conflict, manifestation slows down or stops entirely. The field becomes confused, reflecting the inner contradiction. For example, someone might declare, "I'm ready for a committed relationship," while at the same time fearing vulnerability or intimacy. The conscious mind wants closeness, but the subconscious wants protection. This dual message creates energetic noise, making the universe unsure which vibration to respond to. That's why the results feel inconsistent. The person gets glimpses of progress, then everything suddenly pauses. The signal is not stable enough to manifest fully. Conflicting intentions also show up in behavior. A person visualizes love but avoids people who show interest. They affirm abundance but emotionally expect disappointment. They say they want alignment but entertain connections that lower their frequency. The universe responds to the truth behind the action, not the action itself. And the truth is often rooted in fear, not desire. This emotional dissonance becomes a silent barrier to manifestation. To dissolve this, a powerful exercise is writing what I say I want versus what I actually feel. On one side, they list their desires, love, connection, harmony. On the other, they explore the emotional reality behind them, fear of rejection, fear of being seen, fear of repeating old wounds. This honest contrast exposes the hidden intentions that dilute the signal. Clarity always begins with self-awareness, and self-awareness builds alignment. Another transformative tool is intention refinement. The person closes their eyes, breathes deeply, and repeats a single intention for love. I choose connection, not fear. Then they imagine all secondary intentions dissolving the need for control, the fear of loss, the anxiety of timing. This meditation cleans the energetic field, removing contradictory frequencies. The intention becomes pure, simple, magnetic, and pure intentions manifest faster in the quantum field. Once this alignment happens, the person feels an immediate shift. Their energy becomes clearer, their intuition sharper, and their emotional reactions calmer. They stop attracting situations that reflect fear and begin attracting those that reflect trust. The universe responds almost instantly to clarity because clarity strengthens the vibrational signal. It turns a scattered request into a coherent command. And coherence is the language of manifestation. But even with clear intentions, another mistake often appears, one that's linked to how time is perceived in the manifestation process. People unintentionally resist love by expecting it too quickly, too specifically, or too narrowly. And this relationship with timing creates one of the strongest energetic blocks of all. One of the biggest hidden mistakes in love manifestation is the pressure placed on timing. People often believe the universe is late, slow, or not listening, when in truth, it's responding with perfect precision to their emotional state. When someone becomes impatient, they shift from a frequency of trust to a frequency of fear. And fear creates resistance in the energetic field. The universe cannot deliver what someone pressures, only what someone allows. Timing pressure usually begins with the thought, why isn't it happening yet? That single question contains doubt, anxiety, and a belief in delay. These emotions signal scarcity, not abundance. The person vibrates with the energy of waiting instead of receiving. And the universe mirrors this by extending the wait. It's not punishment, it's vibrational math. The frequency of not yet attracts more not yet. This tension also shows up physically. Someone checks their messages constantly, analyzes every interaction, or monitors every sign looking for proof. These actions don't come from alignment, they come from fear of loss. The body tightens, the breath shortens, and the heart closes slightly. This state lowers emotional coherence, making manifestation much harder. The universe responds to openness, not pressure. And pressure always closes the energetic field. To shift this, one powerful practice is surrender meditation. The person sits comfortably, breathes deeply, and places both hands over the heart. They softly repeat, I trust divine timing. I trust my path. I trust my energy. As they breathe, they imagine releasing tension from the chest and letting their vibration expand outward. This signals the universe that they're no longer trying to force love. And what is not forced becomes free to arrive. Another helpful exercise is reframing the wait. Instead of asking, when will it happen? The person asks, who am I becoming as I prepare for it? This shifts focus from the external timeline to the internal alignment. They begin noticing their growth, emotional healing, and increasing clarity. This transforms impatience into empowerment. And empowerment always vibrates at a higher frequency than desperation. When timing pressure dissolves, the energy field opens in a dramatic way. Synchronicities appear more often, intuition becomes sharper, and opportunities show up with ease. People who once felt distant or unavailable suddenly become more receptive. The universe communicates more clearly because the signal is finally clean. Trust amplifies the magnetic field. And in this field, love travels faster. Yet even after understanding divine timing, another hidden mistake often continues. People unknowingly attach their happiness, worth, or emotional stability to the outcome. And this attachment creates a new form of resistance, one that is even stronger than impatience. The next step begins to reveal how attachment silently disrupts the manifestation process. Attachment is one of the most misunderstood energies in manifestation. People often believe that wanting something intensely makes it arrive faster. But intense wanting usually comes from fear, not alignment. When someone attaches their happiness or emotional stability to the outcome, they send a vibration of dependency into the universe. And dependency signals lack. The universe doesn't respond to desire when it is coded with fear. It responds to the frequency of emotional freedom. Attachment creates an energetic contraction in the heart. The person starts thinking, I need this to feel complete, or I won't be okay until this happens. These thoughts lowered the frequency dramatically, narrowing the flow of manifestation. Instead of radiating trust, gratitude, and abundance, the person vibrates with anxiety and expectation. The universe mirrors this with stagnation. Love cannot enter a space that feels emotionally closed. This attachment also shapes behavior. People begin over-analyzing signs, chasing validation, or trying to control how and when things unfold. These actions, though innocent, come from a place of emotional scarcity. The subconscious fears loss, so it clings tighter. But the tighter someone grips, the more the manifestation slips away. The universe isn't withholding. The energy of attachment is blocking the field. And the field always responds to freedom more than pressure. A powerful practice to dissolve attachment is shifting from wanting to choosing. Instead of saying, I hope they come, the person affirms, I choose love, I choose alignment. I choose a relationship that matches my frequency. This creates internal authority instead of internal fear. Another technique is gratitude redirection, focusing on what already feels abundant in life. This instantly elevates the vibration from need to fulfillment. Fulfillment attracts more to fulfill. Another simple tool is to ask, if love arrived today, could I hold it with emotional independence? This question brings clarity. It reveals whether the desire comes from overflow or emptiness. When love is approached from overflow, the vibration becomes magnetic. The universe senses empowerment rather than desperation. And empowered energy is irresistible in the quantum field. It expresses readiness without grasping. When attachment fades, something beautiful happens. The person becomes lighter, more relaxed, and more open. Their intuition sharpens, their frequency rises, and their emotional energy becomes coherent. This coherence creates a powerful magnetic pull. Suddenly, communication flows naturally, opportunities align, and people respond differently. It's as if the universe was waiting for the moment the person stopped needing love in order to receive it. But once attachment dissolves, another hidden mistake tends to emerge. People unknowingly obsess over the how and who of their manifestation. They limit the universe with narrow expectations, blocking pathways they cannot yet see. And the next layer reveals why this limitation can deeply impact the flow of manifestation. One of the most common hidden mistakes in love manifestation is becoming attached to how the universe should deliver the relationship. People narrow the possibilities by imagining only one person, one path, or one timeline. This creates a vibrational bottleneck. The universe operates through infinite potential, but the mind often operates through limitation. And when someone limits the path, they limit the manifestation itself, even without realizing it. This obsession with the how usually comes from fear. The subconscious says, if it doesn't happen with this person, it won't happen at all. That belief carries a vibration of scarcity, not abundance. The energy field becomes tight, restricted, and inflexible. The universe cannot flow through a narrow channel. It needs space to work. And when someone controls the details, they unintentionally block the quantum pathways designed to help them. Imagine someone trying to manifest love with only one specific outcome in mind. Their entire emotional state rises and falls depending on what that one person does or doesn't do. This gives their power away completely. The universe reads this attachment as resistance, not attraction. And resistance slows everything down. When the manifestation depends on a specific route, it becomes fragile. But when someone trusts a broader path, the field expands. A powerful practice to dissolve this limitation is asking, what if the universe has something better than I can currently imagine? This question lifts the vibration instantly. It creates emotional space, openness, and curiosity. For a few moments, the person taps into abundance instead of restriction. Another tool is writing a list titled 10 Ways Love Could Come to Me, even if the scenarios feel unrealistic. This exercise trains the mind to open new pathways. Visualization also becomes more magnetic when expanded. Instead of seeing a specific face, the person visualizes emotional states, feeling safe, adored, seen, accepted, and connected. They imagine the essence of the relationship rather than the structure. This tells the universe, I am open to the highest vibrational match. And the universe responds faster when it has freedom to choose the perfect alignment, rather than forcing a limited option. When someone releases control over the how, they experience immediate energetic relief. The heart feels lighter, the mind becomes quieter, and the field expands. Unexpected possibilities begin showing up, new connections, surprising conversations, intuitive nudges, and synchronicities. The universe loves flexibility. It uses it to deliver manifestations in ways the conscious mind could never predict. And that unpredictability is part of the magic. Yet, even after releasing the how, another subtle mistake often appears. People unknowingly hold emotional resistance to receiving love, even when they ask for it. This resistance hides deep in the subconscious and impacts the frequency in powerful ways. And the next step begins unveiling how this internal blockage influences everything they attract. Many people believe they are fully open to receiving love, yet their energy tells a different truth. Deep inside the subconscious lies a quiet resistance, a protective mechanism created from old wounds, disappointments, or fears. This resistance doesn't announce itself loudly. It shows up as hesitation, defensiveness, or emotional walls. The universe feels this resistance immediately, and love cannot enter where the heart is bracing for impact. Resistance often comes from the belief that love brings pain, loss, or instability. Even if someone consciously desires connection, their subconscious may still associate love with danger. This creates a paradox, wanting intimacy while preparing for hurt. That emotional split sends contradictory frequencies into the field, and the universe responds to the stronger vibration, which is usually fear, not desire. This resistance becomes a silent shield around the heart. This hidden resistance reveals itself in subtle ways. Someone might pull back when things start going well, overthink when connection deepens, or sabotage opportunities because vulnerability feels overwhelming. Their energy says come close, but their emotions say stay back. This mixed message confuses the quantum field, and the field mirrors confusion with inconsistent results. The person thinks they're unlucky, but the truth is they're unconsciously protecting themselves. One transformative practice is heart opening meditation. The person closes their eyes, breathes deeply into the chest, and imagines soft golden light filling the heart space. With each breath, they repeat, it's safe to receive love. It's safe to open. This begins dissolving emotional armor stored in the body. Over time, the heart softens, expands, and becomes more receptive. A receptive heart emits a stronger magnetic frequency than any affirmation. Another tool is identifying core beliefs about receiving. They can write a simple sentence, love feels dangerous because, and let the subconscious finish it. The answers often reveal root fears: fear of losing independence, fear of being judged, fear of repeating past pain. Once these beliefs surface, they lose power. Clarity begins reprogramming the subconscious, and reprogramming strengthens alignment between desire and vibration. As this resistance melts, the emotional field opens dramatically. The person feels lighter, braver, and more connected to their own worth. They stop anticipating pain and start anticipating possibility. Their frequency rises into abundance and trust. And the universe responds instantly. Opportunities, aligned connections, and meaningful interactions begin appearing with ease. Receiving becomes natural instead of frightening. But even after resistance dissolves, another mistake often works quietly in the background: the emotional habit of overgiving to prove worthiness. This behavior drains energy, lowers frequency, and reverses the flow of manifestation. And the next layer begins unveiling how overgiving disrupts attraction in ways most people never notice. One of the most damaging yet invisible mistakes in love manifestation is the habit of overgiving. Many people give too much of their time, energy, and emotional availability because they believe generosity increases their chances of being loved. But overgiving doesn't vibrate as love. It vibrates as fear. It sends the message, I must earn affection, which immediately lowers the frequency of worthiness. And the universe always responds to worthiness, not effort. Overgiving usually comes from an unconscious belief that love must be earned through sacrifice or emotional labor. Someone may go out of their way to please, fix, or impress others, hoping this will secure a connection. But this behavior communicates imbalance. It whispers to the universe that the person doesn't feel inherently valuable. This frequency attracts partners who take, not partners who reciprocate. And the cycle continues until the pattern is seen clearly. This pattern also drains energy, lowering the overall vibrational state. When someone gives more than they receive, the body enters a subtle survival mode, anxious, depleted, and emotionally scattered. This internal exhaustion weakens manifestation. It disrupts the alignment between the heart and the mind. And manifestation requires energy, not depletion. A tired vibration cannot hold a strong intention. The universe mirrors the exhaustion with delayed or inconsistent results. To shift this, one powerful practice is learning to pause before giving. The person asks themselves, am I giving from abundance or from fear? This simple question reveals the truth instantly. If the energy behind the action feels pressured, anxious, or needy, the vibration is misaligned. Choosing instead to give only from emotional overflow strengthens the magnetic field. And this shift alone begins attracting healthier, more balanced connections. Another transformative tool is receiving practice. Many people struggle to let love in, so they overgive to compensate. Practicing receiving softens the energy. The person starts with simple moments, accepting compliments without downplaying them, allowing help without guilt, or letting others initiate connection. Each time they receive with gratitude, their frequency rises. The subconscious learns that love can arrive without sacrifice. And this new belief changes everything. As overgiving dissolves, the person's energy becomes calmer, clearer, and more magnetic. They stop chasing, over-explaining, or proving themselves. They move with confidence and emotional equilibrium. The universe feels the shift immediately. Opportunities, alignment, and genuine reciprocity start flowing. People begin showing up with effort, interest, and sincerity. The magnetic field strengthens because it's no longer leaking energy. Wholeness attracts wholeness. But once overgiving fades, another subtle mistake often appears: the emotional habit of seeking signs obsessively, trying to confirm whether the manifestation is working. This obsession disrupts the flow, lowers the frequency, and creates energetic doubt. And the next layer reveals how this search for signs silently delays the manifestation of love. Many people unintentionally weaken their manifestation by constantly looking for signs. They ask the universe for confirmation again and again, searching for numbers, songs, synchronicities, or messages. But sign seeking often comes from doubt, not trust. It vibrates as uncertainty, insecurity, and fear of disappointment. And when someone looks for evidence too intensely, they broadcast the frequency of, "I'm not sure it's working." The universe responds to this vibration immediately. Sign obsession creates emotional dependence on external validation. Instead of feeling aligned, the person becomes anxious, hyper-aware, and reactive. Every small coincidence feels like hope, and every quiet moment feels like failure. This emotional roller coaster lowers their frequency dramatically. Manifestation requires stability, not volatility. And the universe cannot calibrate to a signal that keeps rising and collapsing with every perceived sign. Imagine someone checking angel numbers every hour, refreshing their social media constantly, or asking the universe for repeated confirmation. Their energy becomes frantic and fragmented. They aren't in alignment. They're in fear disguised as spirituality. Signs are meant to support the path, not to replace self-trust. When signs become the focus, the person stops listening to their intuition and starts chasing external clues. And chasing always weakens attraction. Powerful reset is practicing sign detachment. The person tells the universe, "You don't need to send me signs. I trust you." Then they shift their attention inward, feeling the vibration of alignment rather than searching for proof. This creates emotional sovereignty. It strengthens the magnetism of their intention. Signs then return naturally, not because they are chased, but because the vibration is clear enough for them to appear effortlessly. Another transformative tool is focusing on inner signs instead of outer ones. These are intuitive nudges, emotional shifts, moments of clarity, or sudden peace. Inner signs hold more truth than external synchronicities because they reflect the subconscious alignment. When someone tunes into their inner world, they reconnect with their higher self. This connection radiates a powerful frequency of confidence, clarity, and emotional coherence, the true foundation of manifestation. As sign seeking dissolves, the person feels lighter, more grounded, and more aligned with the present moment. Their energy stabilizes, their intuition sharpens, and the universe begins responding with greater consistency and speed. Love approaches more naturally because the person is no longer vibrating in a state of waiting, watching, or needing confirmation. They're vibrating in trust. And trust accelerates manifestation in extraordinary ways. Yet, even after releasing sign obsession, another hidden mistake often takes shape. People unintentionally create emotional chaos by shifting their desire too frequently. This inconsistency sends mixed signals to the quantum field. And the next layer reveals how constant changes in desire confuse the universe and delay the arrival of love. One of the most overlooked mistakes in love manifestation is constantly shifting what you want. One day someone asks the universe for a committed relationship. The next day they want freedom. And the day after they're unsure if love is even the right path. These emotional fluctuations send conflicting messages into the field. The universe doesn't judge the confusion, it simply mirrors it. And inconsistency becomes an energetic block disguised as indecision. This inconsistency often comes from emotional instability rather than true desire. When someone feels lonely, they want closeness. When they feel overwhelmed, they want distance. When they feel insecure, they want validation. These shifting emotional states create shifting intentions. The quantum field receives these impulses as fragmented frequencies. And fragmented frequencies cannot create coherent manifestations. The signal is too disrupted to materialize clearly. Imagine someone visualizing a loving relationship, then later telling themselves, maybe I'm better off alone. The universe hears both requests. Or someone who desires a partner deeply but simultaneously fears losing their independence. This tug war creates energetic noise in the subconscious. It's like trying to tune in to two different radio stations at once. The result is static, and manifestation cannot grow in static. A powerful practice to dissolve this inconsistency is desire grounding. The person writes a clear description of the relationship they're calling in, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, without attaching it to any specific person. They read this description every morning for 1 minute, not to force belief, but to stabilize intention. This consistency strengthens the vibrational signal and helps the subconscious align with the same frequency every day. Another helpful tool is emotional distinction, separating the desire from the mood. Instead of changing the desire when emotions fluctuate, the person acknowledges this feeling is temporary. My desire is constant. This clarity helps the subconscious understand that the external emotion is not rewriting the internal intention. It brings stability to the energetic field. And stability makes manifestation faster, cleaner, and more direct. As inconsistent desires dissolve, the person begins feeling anchored, certain, and emotionally aligned. Their energy becomes easy to read in the quantum field. The heart emits a steady frequency of intention. This steady frequency attracts synchronicities, opportunities, and aligned connections with surprising speed. Everything becomes smoother because the universe finally receives one consistent request. And consistency is one of the strongest forms of magnetic power. But once desire becomes consistent, another subtle mistake can still arise. People unintentionally leak energy by replaying negative assumptions about love. reinforcing old beliefs through internal dialogue. And this next layer reveals how those assumptions can sabotage manifestation even when everything else seems aligned. Negative assumptions act like small cracks in the energetic field, weakening the manifestation long before it reaches physical reality. Someone may affirm love, visualize love, and desire love, but if their inner dialogue quietly whispers, "It never works out for me," that belief becomes the dominant frequency. The subconscious doesn't care about words. It cares about emotional truth. And assumptions built from past pain send a vibration that blocks the future. These assumptions usually form from repetition. A pattern that happened once becomes a fear that it will happen again. A rejection becomes a belief of unworthiness. A slow response becomes a story of abandonment. These internal narratives shape the way someone interprets every new experience. The heart wants to trust, but the mind keeps replaying old fears. This creates an emotional loop that weakens confidence, gratitude, and alignment. Imagine someone receiving a neutral message and immediately thinking they're losing interest, or a small delay in communication triggers, "I knew I was going to be disappointed." These assumptions lower the vibration instantly. They send fear, not love, into the universe. And the universe responds according to the frequency of expectation. Expecting loss often manifests loss. Expecting disappointment creates more disappointment. This is the emotional math of manifestation. To shift this, a powerful practice is assumption reframing. Whenever a negative thought appears, the person pauses and asks, "What else could this mean?" Maybe the message was delayed because the other person was busy. Maybe the silence isn't rejection, but neutrality. This expands the emotional field from fear to possibility, and possibility vibrates higher than assumption. Over time, the subconscious learns to choose neutrality instead of panic. Another transformative tool is assumption replacement. The person writes 3 new assumptions that support love. People enjoy connecting with me. Love responds to my energy, and I'm worthy of emotional consistency. Reading these each morning begins reprogramming the subconscious. These new assumptions create emotional coherence, and coherence is essential for attracting a relationship rooted in alignment and abundance. As negative assumptions dissolve, the person's vibration becomes lighter, more trusting, and more magnetic. They stop interpreting neutral moments as threats. They stop projecting old wounds onto new possibilities. Their energy field becomes clearer, stronger, and more receptive. This shift alone can transform relationships, not because the universe changed, but because the person changed the frequency they broadcast into the universe. Yet, even after assumptions shift, one final hidden mistake often influences everything. People unknowingly disconnect from the present moment, living mentally in the future of their manifestation instead of the energy of now. And this disconnection weakens their magnetic field more than they realize. The next layer begins to reveal why presence is the true anchor of manifestation. One of the most subtle mistakes in love manifestation is living too much in the future. People imagine the relationship, the moments, the conversations, all beautiful practices, but then they mentally escape into a version of life that hasn't arrived yet. This creates a vibrational gap. The universe responds to who you are now, not who you hope to be later. And when someone's mind is in the future, but their energy is stuck in the present, alignment dissolves quietly. Future-focused thinking often comes from impatience or longing. The person imagines the connection so intensely that the present moment begins to feel empty by comparison. This emotional contrast lowers their vibration. Instead of embodying gratitude, confidence, and trust, they slip into lack and absence. The subconscious begins to believe, I'm not complete until this happens, which sends scarcity into the field. And scarcity repels the manifestation. This mental escape also creates emotional disconnection. The person stops appreciating their current life, their growth, and the expansion happening within them. They overlook the synchronicities already unfolding. Their intuition becomes weaker because they're not grounded in the present. Manifestation requires presence. Presence anchors the frequency. Without presence, the energy becomes unstable. An unstable energy cannot create stable love. A powerful practice to restore presence is sensory grounding. The person pauses, notices their breath, their heartbeat, the feeling of their feet on the floor. They name 3 things they can see, 2 things they can feel, and 1 emotion they're experiencing. This reconnects the mind to the body. It brings the vibration back into the now. And the now is where manifestation actually takes shape, not in the imagined future. Another transformative tool is present moment gratitude. Instead of visualizing only the desired relationship, the person spends 1 minute appreciating something real in their life. A meal, a moment of peace, a warm shower, sunlight through the window. Gratitude grounds the vibration. It stabilizes the emotional field. And the universe responds to gratitude more quickly than any other frequency. Gratitude is a magnet. Longing is a repellent. When someone returns to the present, their energy becomes calm, centered, and aligned. They feel less urgency, less anxiety, and more trust in the divine flow. Their heart opens again. Their vibration rises. The universe can finally read their signal clearly. Presence creates coherence, and coherence creates manifestation. The moment someone becomes fully available to life now, life becomes fully available to them. But even grounding into presence isn't the final layer. Because there's one more mistake, the most hidden of all, that almost everyone makes in their love manifestation routine. It's subtle, emotional, and easy to overlook, yet it impacts the entire energetic field. And as we enter the next part, this last piece begins to reveal itself. One of the most deeply hidden mistakes in love manifestation is the quiet emotional self-doubt that lives beneath the surface. Someone may affirm their worth, visualize healthy love, and practice alignment. Yet inside they still question whether they truly deserve a beautiful relationship. This subtle self-doubt creates an energetic interruption in the field. The vibration becomes unstable, and the universe can only respond with the same uncertainty being broadcast. Self-doubt often forms from old narratives, childhood experiences, past rejection, or moments when love felt unpredictable. Even if the conscious mind says, I am worthy, the emotional body may still whisper, what if I'm not enough? The quantum field responds instantly to that whisper. And because emotions carry more magnetic power than thoughts, the vibration of doubt overrides the intention of desire. The signal becomes weak, inconsistent, and unclear. This doubt shows up in small behaviors that most people don't notice. Someone hesitates to express their needs, hides their vulnerability, or lowers their standards to avoid being alone. Every one of these moments sends the message, I don't fully trust myself. And when self-trust is missing, the universe cannot deliver a love that requires emotional confidence. Self-doubt doesn't just weaken manifestation, it reshapes the entire vibrational identity. A powerful practice to dissolve this is mirror presence. The person stands in front of a mirror, looks directly into their own eyes, and says slowly, I am worthy of love. I am enough as I am. I deserve connection that matches my vibration. This practice bypasses the analytical mind and speaks directly to the emotional body. Over time, the subconscious begins to accept this new identity, and the energy of worthiness becomes the dominant frequency. Another transformative tool is emotional inventory. The person writes down situations where they felt unworthy, then writes a second column titled, What I Would Say to a Friend in the Same Situation. This instantly reveals their own compassion. It shows them how much love, empathy, and wisdom they already carry, but rarely give themselves. This exercise elevates the vibration of self-acceptance, and self-acceptance magnetizes healthy, aligned relationships. As emotional self-doubt dissolves, the person begins feeling stronger, clearer, and more grounded in their truth. They make decisions from confidence instead of fear. They communicate authentically. They stop shrinking to fit into someone else's expectations. The universe feels this shift and responds quickly because worthiness is one of the highest frequencies of attraction. When someone embodies worthiness, love naturally gravitates toward them. But even after self-doubt fades, there is still one final hidden mistake, the mistake that ties all the others together. It's the most subtle, the most emotionally charged, and the most powerful in the entire manifestation process. And this final layer reveals why some people block love even when they do everything right. The most hidden mistake in love manifestation is the emotional contradiction between what someone desires and who they subconsciously believe they are. A person may deeply want a conscious, loving relationship, yet carry an inner identity rooted in survival, independence, or self-protection. This creates a vibrational mismatch. The desire says, I want connection, but the identity says, I only feel safe alone. And the quantum field always responds to identity over desire. This contradiction forms because identity is built from years of emotional programming. If someone spent years relying on themselves, they may associate partnership with loss of control. If they experienced heartbreak, their identity may cling to solitude for safety. So while they consciously manifest love, their emotional energy radiates caution. This split creates a frequency that pushes love away, even while trying to pull it in. It's not sabotage, it's self-preservation. You can see this pattern when someone says they want a relationship but feels uncomfortable with closeness, intimacy, or vulnerability. They desire affection but shut down when someone gets too close. They want to be chosen but feel overwhelmed when another person genuinely shows interest. These reactions reveal the true identity the universe is responding to. Manifestation follows emotional truth, not verbal intention. And emotional truth lives deep in the subconscious. A powerful way to dissolve this contradiction is identity rehearsal. The person sits quietly and imagines themselves as the version of them who is already in a loving, balanced relationship. They observe how this version breathes, speaks, moves, and receives love. Then they choose one behavior from that identity to embody throughout the day. Maybe calm communication, open posture, or emotional presence. Each simple action anchors a new vibrational identity. Another transformative practice is emotional safety training. Instead of forcing themselves to be open, the person asks gently, how can I make love feel safe for me today? This question aligns identity with desire. It invites the subconscious to participate rather than resist. The person might set a boundary, express a need, breathe through vulnerability, or simply allow affection without retreating. These small steps create profound energetic coherence. As identity and desire merge, something extraordinary happens. The person feels inner peace instead of emotional conflict. Their vibration becomes steady, clear, and powerful. Love becomes not something they chase, but something they naturally attract. The universe finally receives one unified signal, not two competing ones. And when identity matches desire, manifestation accelerates in ways that feel almost supernatural. And this leads directly into the heart of your entire manifestation journey. Now that every hidden mistake has been uncovered, you are ready to integrate the truth that changes everything, the truth that turns manifestation from effort into alignment, from wishing into receiving, and from searching into becoming. Now that you've uncovered every hidden mistake in your love manifestation routine, the power is fully in your hands. Nothing is blocking you anymore except the version of you that still hesitates to believe how magnetic you truly are. The universe has been responding to your energy all along, and now your vibration is clearer, stronger, and more aligned than ever. So the real question becomes, what will you do with this new awareness? Will you continue manifesting from fear, doubt, or old emotional habits? Or will you choose to step into a new frequency, one of confidence, clarity, gratitude, and emotional coherence? The universe moves the moment you move. It calms when you calm. It opens when you open. And right now, you're standing at a doorway only your energy can unlock. The next version of your love life is waiting on the other side. Look at everything you've learned here. Which insight hit you the hardest? Which pattern did you recognize in yourself? And which shift will you begin applying today? Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Manifestation only responds to embodiment. It responds when you live the vibration, feel the vibration, and trust the vibration before the results appear. Are you willing to become the person your desire is already looking for? If your answer is yes, then your transformation has already begun. The universe always supports those who align with intention, clarity, and emotional truth. Love is not far away from you. It is circling your field, waiting for coherence, waiting for your heart to say, I'm ready. And now, after this entire journey, you are finally ready. The question is no longer if love will find you, but how soon you will allow it to arrive. Before you go, take a deep breath and commit to one thing. Apply what you learned. Don't let this become just another video or another idea. Let it become a shift in your frequency. Let it become a new pattern in your subconscious. Let it become the moment your life changed direction forever. And if you want to keep expanding, keep growing, and keep aligning your energy with the reality you desire, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications, because I'm here to guide you step by step into the love, abundance, clarity, and connection your soul has been waiting to manifest. Your journey doesn't end here, it begins now.